Hey there, everyone. It's GG's Sober Son. November 7th. I have lost many of my resentments. I have found that getting even with people doesn't do any good. When we try to get revenge, instead of making us feel better, it leaves us frustrated and cheated. Instead of punishing our enemies, we've only hurt our own peace of mind. It does not pay to nurse a grudge. It hurts us more than anyone else. Hate causes frustration, inner conflict, and neurosis. If we give out hate, we will become hateful. If we are resentful, we will be resented. If we do not like people, we will not be liked by people. Revengefulness is a powerful poison in our systems. Have I lost my resentments? And again, I know I used the analogy recently about the Tolkien trilogy of Lord of the Rings, where I guess it was a hobbit named Smeagol found the Ring of Power. Actually, his friend or his brother or fellow hobbit found the Ring of Power, and when he saw it, he immediately called it the Precious, right? And he wanted it so bad that he killed the guy who found it to get it. And then he coveted it so much that he turned into a creature. Now that is obviously envy and covetousness, the principles of envy and covetousness, right? Or greed. But then it's the analogy of the Ring of Power and how he calls it the Precious is what nursing a grudge is like. And that, as in the story, Smeagol becomes this creature named Gollum, that sort of crawls around and eats whatever it can find. It still covets the precious, and will do just about anything to keep it. And obviously there's a certain amount of implied pleasure in coveting the precious that is similar to nursing a grudge, to holding on to a resentment. And we get so used to having it. We don't think of it as the precious. It's just like, that son of a, fill in the blank. And we don't have to. Thankfully, we can be free of that. And don't have to die falling into the volcano trying to, to keep it. So that always is the story that comes to mind when I see that. When I think of resentments and keeping resentments and refusing to get rid of resentments, we're only hurting ourselves. Meditation for the day. It is not so much you as the grace of God that is in you that helps those around you. If you would help even those you dislike, you have to see that there is nothing in you to block the way, to keep God's grace from using you. Your own pride and selfishness are the greatest blocks. Keep those out of the way, and God's grace will flow through you into the lives of others. then all who come in contact with you can be helped in some way. Keep the channel open, free from those things that make your life futile and ineffective. Yeah, pride and selfishness block the sunlight of the Spirit, as it's referred to in the big book. And the 12 and 12, I believe. We block ourselves off from the sunlight of the Spirit by holding on to pride and selfishness and fear, for that matter. Prayer for the day. I pray that all who come in contact with me will feel better for it. I pray that I may be careful not to harbor those things in my heart that put people off. Yeah, pride and selfishness will do that, and definitely a resentful and fearful person will keep people away as well. So yeah, I pray that not just that I shed those things that I find objectionable, but also those things that I don't see that put me in conflict with others and make me feel victimized by the behavior of others. But that notion of wanting people to feel the better for having seen me throughout the day, that is kind of my life's journey right now. And I'm not sure, and I hope that that doesn't sort of develop some kind of codependency in me as well. But I have to be mindful of that, trying to be nice to everybody. That's not what that's calling for. I thought that's what it was at one point in my life, but that led me to restlessness and futility, I think, is what the big book talks about. So every day I don't pick up a drink, I'm in with the chance. So I belong to the no matter what club. No matter what, I'm not going to pick up a drink. I'm going to avoid taking that first drink or that first drug or what have you, something that makes me feel other than, and be mindful of how much I eat, because that can numb me out to reality, and not look for a sugar rush or a rush of some other adrenaline or what have you. Driving fast can become a an addiction as well if I'm not careful. So the alcohol has to be the first thing. Had to be the first thing for me, and then everything else follows. But there's always something to surrender, always, and it just keeps doubling down on itself. So, but that's okay. That's the road to a victorious life. So keep aiming up, chin up, look up, aim up, rise up.